Pierre Brooks returns to the Breslin Center. It's Butler. It's Michigan State. The last time these two teams met, I was in the building. It was in Hinkle 2 years ago in 2022. And Michigan State pretty much thrashed them, I would say. Like it ended up not being as ugly as you thought it could have been, but it was, I think, a 19-point win, if I'm remembering correctly.
Almost 20. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good overall win. I'll tee you up wherever you want to go with this. This is your team. We can talk whatever you want, but let me just give you my pulse on this real quick. I wrote the recap or the write-up for this for Action Network, and Butler has a lot more that I like on paper than I realized.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Butler's not as bad as they have been these past years. I think they're actually trending in the correct direction. I actually did watch I watched one Butler Matthew Loves Ball tape after discussing with my good friend Lucas Harkins too, just because he's a Butler guy. And just their style of play is completely different. They got some good transfers in here. I actually like this Butler team. Typically these past couple years, they've been like a team in the high hundreds on KenPom, almost in the 200s. Honestly, they've been pretty bad. I think this year, let's see, Butler's at 67 currently. So which is currently only 2 away from Indiana. Like, this is not an awful basketball team. This is a basketball team that if you don't show up and Michigan State plays the way they've been playing, there's a chance they could lose this game at home.
You actually think that? I know you just put the face on and you have to say that. Do you actually believe that Michigan State could lose at home to Butler on Friday?
No, absolutely not. But when you're looking at it on paper, you put it as a matchup, and you put, the recent performances. You can't say it confidently, but I personally believe that, this Michigan State team should be able. This should be a game they win at home.
Okay. Tyson Walker is the best player on the floor in this game, obviously. Correct?
Yes.
No questions about that whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I think Butler can hang around in this game. And if I dare say, I think Butler actually does stand a chance of potentially winning. I wouldn't bet on it. I don't think it's greater than like a 10% chance, but I think there's a chance. I think Butler has the second best player in this game. And it's pretty clear.
Posh Alexander?
I think Posh Alexander is definitely the second best player in this game.
Like, for sure.
Right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, honestly, it's kind of hard to put up a fight against that with the current state that we're in, even though Malik did have himself a better game last game. But that was one game. Posh has actually been pretty solid this whole season. And we all know what he is defensively as well. And honestly, matching up wise, like, if you're Butler, don't you feel good that you can have a defender like Posh Alexander match up with Tyson Walker?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think Posh kind of strikes me as a guy who will relish in competing with Tyson. And I would assume that's the matchup. I would think it's the 6-foot Posh with Tyson. And then they put, I don't know, I guess it would be DJ Davis on Hogarth. But Posh has a little more weight to him, though. So maybe Posh draws the AJ assignment. If that's the case, that could go any direction. Any game, any night can go any direction with AJ. But
both New York guys as well.
Yeah, that's just the thing to me, is I feel pretty reliable that Posh will play well in this game, or at least not like horrible, right? And if Michigan State continues to get the same production they've been getting from Akins and from Hogarth and from Hall, then all of a sudden you start looking at these rosters like Butler's actually not that far behind. The other thing, what hurts Butler in this standpoint, is I don't think they have anybody who can take advantage of Michigan State's weaknesses in the front court. We talked about it with Duke, where like Flip is just going to eat, and there's no answer there. Ryan Young even had a good game. Like, I don't think Jalen Thomas is going to do much against Mady Sissoko. Is there anything to be worried about with Butler's front court?
I mean, I've always been a Jalen Thomas fan. I was actually extremely disappointed when Jalen entered the portal. He's a Detroit kid, for those who don't know. Prepped at University Detroit Jesuit High School, same as Cassius Winston. I was actually pretty in on Michigan State giving him a call, and when they didn't, I was a little bit disappointed because in my eyes, he's better than Mady Sissoko. But water under the bridge, whatever you want to call it. I don't think that they have a guy that can necessarily exploit that. But as I stated on yesterday's episode, I think we are going to see some changes to the starting lineup, and I think one of those changes might be with Mady Sissoko. I think we are going to see
changes plural.
I'm going to say change. I feel good about saying change for sure. There will be a change to the starting lineup. I would bet money on that.
Cooper over Mady?
I think so. I think that's the first step to fall, first domino to fall. And hopefully maybe that's followed up with some Booker being quicker off the bench minutes. Who knows? I do have some things, some notes I'd like to read that I'd like to see in this game. So if you just give me a quick second here, Gregory.
Yeah, please. While you pull up those notes, I'd just like to quip that I'm sure Xavier Booker will get much more run now that he texted Tom Izzo if they could watch some film together. What a great move by Xavier Booker.
That is a very classic move. Hit the coach up, say you saw something on huddle, say you want to meet a couple minutes before practice. That earns you at minimum 3 to 5 extra minutes. He's ahead of his time.
So you're just bought in that happened for sure. Tom's not just spinning his mythical narratives right now. The same AJ asked to come off the bench.
Yes.
Okay.
I do think that happened. Okay.
Sure. Okay.
So obviously we know that spacing has been a huge issue with the Michigan State team. And I directly think that correlates to Hogarth's struggles, but not the only reason, of course. But I think that has something to do with his struggles. I suggested on the other episode the other day, I would like to see a lineup where the front court includes both Booker and Hall, because I think that it'll help with spacing. And at least right now on paper, Booker seems to be a threat from three. I mean, in the exhibition game, he hit a 3. In the game against Southern Indiana, he hit a 3. He attempted one against Duke, didn't go in, but I'm saying he's a threat from there. Like, you want to close out to him. And yes, there might be some defensive lapses and defensive rebounding lapses, but I think you got to kind of outweigh the positives with the negatives there, because I think it'll make the whole offense better as a whole if he's on the floor. Another thing, transition and early baskets can help this team with their offensive struggles. If you're going to play these lineups that don't have spacing, get out in transition so the defense can't get set, so that the offense isn't clogged. You can get easy buckets in transition, and it's not always to score. Maybe it's just to get the ball up the floor and get the defense moving. That's always an easy way to get past like offense. And technically we have an offense and a roster that is supposed to be quotation marks deep. You have depth, you have guys to play. Maybe, get out and run, press a little bit, get up and run up and down, see what guys can do. Shots will fall for this team, but we do need our shot makers shooting them, which you have pointed out many times, Gregory. And then last 2 points, no more dumb fouls. There are way too many veteran players on this team, and I see way too many over the backs on free throws and fouls 94 feet from the basket. And guys just being over aggressive defensively and making stupid fouls. Stop that. And then last but not least, and also most important, Tyson Ramon Walker needs the ball in his hands at all times. I don't care who else is on the team. He needs to have the ball in his hands. He needs to take the shots. He needs to make the plays. That's who he is. Unfortunately, that's how the team needs to be ran right now with everything else that's going on. Thank you for coming to my Cart Talk.
Yeah, I love the TED Talk. Where do I want to go with this? All good stuff. I don't have a problem with anything you said. I think a lot of the stuff is thoughtful for sure. I've obviously been screaming to you about the spacing, and I think Michigan State fans are starting to take the spacing stuff seriously. I noticed a change after the Duke game. Before the Duke game, it was like, we'll just make shots. And then after the Duke game, everybody was like, oh, never mind. Like, it's real. There's clips going around. Like, there's a spacing issue here. Here's my problem is 2 of your bullet points, I feel like conflict with each other, because it's like you're talking about like you want to see some lineup changes and the spacing is a real issue and you need to fix the spacing with lineup changes, right? But then you end it all by saying the ball needs to just be in Tyson's hands every possession. If you do that, I don't even disagree, but if you do that with Tyson, the problem with this roster is there aren't guys to put around him that give him space. His life is miserable right now. because he is the only knockdown shooter on the team. So, like, by default, the way this roster was built, Tyson needs to play off the ball. Otherwise, none of it works. Otherwise, you're going to live or die by Tyson Walker shooting 30 times a game. And no offense, I think Tyson's already been as good as he can possibly be in that scenario, and they've lost those games because there is nothing else you get from anyone else if the only guy who can space the floor on the team is the guy with the ball in his hands. So that's why I keep looking at this like, I don't know how you fix it. It's got to be personnel related. To me, it is not, Malik Hall just needs to make threes. I think we're past that point. I think Jaden Akins can make threes, but his threes are tougher than normal because there's no spacing. So to me, again, you're stuck. It's like, what puzzle pieces are you moving around? To me, the only obvious one is Xavier Booker. I think he's the only guy in the front court that can shoot. And if you gave me the over or under 0.5 minutes that Xavier Booker plays in the second half of this game, I would take the under. I don't think Izzo trusts him. I don't think Izzo trusts him at all.
Okay, so, you know what? This is the I'm gonna get frustrated here, and I get it. I'm not trying to question Coach Izzo. I'm not trying to question him at all. But I mean, come on, man, damn! Like, you see that front court play every single day, and you got a McDonald's All-American on the bench. I don't care if you want to send a message or something. Send a message by playing him 12 minutes. Send a message by playing him 15 minutes because right now we don't have the front court to be sending guys messages. All right, we don't have time for that. We're 1-2. And we're going to find ourselves in dogfights here because we got coming up Arizona and Baylor. Like, everything could unravel very quickly, but, at least your message gets across. Like, come on, man. Like, I get it. Guys need to be sent messages. Xavier Booker does need to play harder. He does need to do that. You know what else, though? Maybe if you give him some minutes, he can play harder in those minutes. Give him more than 5 minutes and see if he can actually play hard. What do you expect the guys to come at? Like, it's just like, I don't understand how you see that front court every single day, day in and day out, and not put your McDonald's All-American front court player on the floor.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. We both want to see it.
It's unacceptable. Like I said, I get it. Maybe you don't play him as much as other people because of some concerns he may have. But goddamn, man, you play him 5 minutes. What's he supposed to do?
We're gonna keep calling for it. We're gonna keep calling for it until it happens. But who knows? Maybe this is the game where it changes and it happens, and we can talk about that instead of begging for it. Let's do a quick.
Can I say one more thing? Last thing. Sorry. Game for you. Question. Xavier Booker plays 20 minutes. Carson Cooper plays 20 minutes. Mady Sissoko plays 20 minutes in a game. Let's say it's a scrimmage setting, so they all play 20, 20, 20 separately. Rank what those players look like in their 20 minutes on the court.
So Xavier's at the 5?
Yes. Xavier's at the 5. Carson's at the 5. Mady Sissoko's at the 5.
I don't think we have enough to say what Xavier looks like at the 5 because he's played more at the 4. I feel confident in saying what Xavier would look like at the 4. I don't have a clue what I think Xavier looks like at the 5. I would try him at the 5, but like if he's at the 5 right now, I think he gives up a lot of rebounds and hopefully hits some threes.
Yeah, but I mean, already Malik Hall and those other guys are giving up rebound. I just don't.
But we said before the season someone was going to get squeezed out at the 4 because it's a body thing. He's not ever going to not play Malik Hall. He might only play him 20 minutes instead of 30, but Malik played good last game.
Yeah, so, but what I'm saying in this world is that you have Malik and Booker front courts. Like, I don't care if it's Booker at the 4, technically still, and Malik's has a small ball 5.
Yeah, but that just requires him to play Booker at the 5 because he's not going to play Malik Hall at the 5, and he's not going to play Xavier Booker at the 5. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Obviously, we would do it, but right now he doesn't seem like he's going to do it. And with the way that Xavier Booker rebounds, quite frankly, I don't know that we can say that we should blame him. Like, the whole front court doesn't rebound, though. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do we have Dennis Rodman in the front court that I don't know about?
I said this to you offline. I think it deserves mention on an actual clip. Last offseason, the whole narrative was, damn, Izzo didn't do anything in the portal. He's lazy. Why is he doing this? He shouldn't trust his guys. I don't think he's getting enough of that this offseason, quite frankly, because he literally could have just gone and gotten a nasty front court. And then this team is a top 5 team in the country.
Right. Or if you don't want to do, Or if you don't want to do that, like you don't want to go then play the ones you brought in. Play the freshmen because that's what you did. That was
Yeah.
your choice. If you
Yeah.
brought the freshmen in, play them. If you didn't want to play them, you should have brought somebody else in.
Yeah, at this point, if he's just saying like Malik Hall and Madi Sissoko are good enough to win a national championship, then he's just wrong. And then he deserves what's coming to him. But he deserves to be called out for like he's wrong. Those guys are not good enough to do that. That's been proven at this point. You look like you're about to disagree with me on that. Are you about to talk me into there's a world where Malik Hall and Madi Sissoko could win a national championship as a starting front court?
No.
Okay. I thought you were gonna hit me with it. You were looking like you were ready to push back on that.
No, I was watching. I mean, if they're starter, if they are starters and we're winning a national championship, they're starters by technicality.
Yeah.
It's just like they start, but they play 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Okay. A quick exercise. You hit me with a game. I'm hitting you in reverse with a game. Whoa.
I don't know if I want to play.
Yeah, Jesus. Whoa. Okay. You're coaching Michigan State. I'm coaching theoretical other team. I have a 2-point lead with 30 seconds left. You said your entire goal is just get the ball to Tyson and get out of his way and let him rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who's on the floor for you and how are you doing that? I assume you're going to tell me the ball's in Tyson's hands. Who's on the floor with Tyson when you clear out for Tyson in this spot?
End of the game.
30 seconds left. You're down.
Seconds.
You're down 2, and you're putting the ball in Tyson's hands, like you said. Who's on the floor with him?
Got you. Sorry, TJ. I'm gonna go Fears, Akins, Tyson, Malik, and Booker.
Okay, so here's what I'm doing if I'm guarding that lineup. I'm just leaving Jeremy Fears wide open.
I might put the ball in Fears' hands.
Then that's your problem again. Like that's
what have them. You just said you wanted the space. I'm having Fears make a play. I think Fears can make a play.
Okay, but it speaks to where this team is at that we have to turn to the true freshman in his 4th game over the senior who's supposed to be one of the best guards in the country.
Well,
like
okay,
that's
so what do you
and you have Tyson Walker?
Now I need your answer then.
Well, that's my point is it's clunky, right? Because I think you were right originally in saying the ball needs to be in Tyson Walker's hands. It would be a tragedy if you put the ball in Jeremy Fears' hands over Tyson Walker in that setting right now. You'd be fired immediately.
I know, but I was saying it to you because you're just saying in that lineup I'm leaving Fears.
That's because I'm trying to show you there's no answer.
But honestly, I'm fine with that. That is the best answer. It's better. I'd rather have Fears shooting that than AJ Hoggard or Trey Holloman because those are the other options.
All right, I think it's a turnover. Still, is the point. I think in the end you would be greatly disappointed. You get stuck, and Jeremy Fears is not capable right now. Like, there aren't answers, and you tried to answer with the most spacing you can get on the floor around Tyson Walker. It still includes a true freshman who hasn't proven he's a shooting threat whatsoever. It improves a true freshman at the 5 that your coach won't play at the 5. And it includes a power forward who's a totally broken shooter.
That freshman is shooting better than our starting point guard right now.
Right. It's dire. That is, but that's your best spacing lineup includes Malik Hall still. Like the team is broken how it's built. It's not broken because of how guys are playing. It's broken because of how it's built. That's the point. The last thing we have not said. Why I again think this is going to be a tricky matchup here. Butler has the number 1 ranked effective field goal percentage defense in the country. This is a good defense through 3 games. They have the number 2 2-point percentage defense in the country. Like they have not given up shit at the rim. Competition aside, they played 3 really bad teams. They blew them out. But the whole thing has been you're not getting anything easy against Butler this year. That's been true through 3 games. That's terrifying for Michigan State right now because that's all y'all can do. Like you're now going up against essentially the best at the rim defense in the country through 3 games. And my assumption would be they're just going to dare you to shoot and pack the paint. And I don't know what's going to happen. Like, are we going to see a bunch of Madi Sissoko post-ups against a defense that good at the rim?
Probably. Unfortunately, yeah.
It's scary. That's why I think this is trappier than people might think. And I think a lot of people are already on to the fact that Michigan State's not that good. But there's matchup stuff here that is kind of like, whoa, that's scary unless we're making threes. Michigan State needs to make threes in this game. And If they do, they can certainly blow out Butler. If they don't, I think it's going to be a bit of a dogfight. What's you have to make one bet. Let's end with this. There's 4 different ways you could bet this game. Michigan State's 8-point favorites. You could take Butler +8. You could take Michigan State -8. Let me pull up the over/under real quick. Over/under 138.5 points.
I take the under. Would be my favorite bet.
That'd be mine too. I feel really, really good about the under, to be honest.
I feel really good about the under. There's also extreme value on Butler +8.
See that? My brain says that to me, but then I step back and I'm scared for some reason. But yeah, the under feels great.
I felt so much better about that 8 until you made me play that last game. Don't want to play that game ever again.
Yeah, it's not a fun game. By the way, the actual final thing. You told me all offseason this team was going to run more.
I thought they would.
They're 281st in tempo.
I thought they would.
Is that so Izzo just wants them to play slow?
Probably. I don't get it. I don't know.
That doesn't fit the roster at all, right? The half court stinks and this team wants to play slow?
You know why it's slow?
Why?
Because of the front court.
I don't feel like those guys are slow enough to play in the 200s on tempo if you want to run. Monty's not that slow.
You also got to get stops and rebounds to run.
I guess that's true.
But yes, I thought that because of the depth and the younger guys we had coming in, I thought there'd be more emphasis on getting out and running in transition. I guess I was mistaken.
It's interesting stuff. I don't know, man. Weird times. All right, good luck. Go green, go white. You going to this one?
No.
Do you want to go to this one?
No.
Cheer up, Buttercup. A lot of basketball to be played this season. Your team's all right.
If we lose this game, I'm not joking. I'm taking all next week off. It's Butler. If we lose, I will take all next week off. Don't text me and say, do you feel better on Wednesday? Or I won't even respond to your happy Thanksgiving text on Thursday. I will see you the following Monday.
That hurts. All right. Please, Michigan State. I can't work without Carter for a full week. Please.